Hello there, I'm Amanda Lewis, and today I'm just going to do a short tutorial on making a stuffed duck and a stuffed dinosaur. These little guys are called Huggables, and they're donated to local hospitals and given to small young patients as sort of a object to cheer them up a little bit as they stay in the hospital. So, as you can see, I've already cut out the duck and dinosaur pieces. These patterns were provided to me from Wake Med Hospital here in Raleigh, North Carolina. So this is kind of what they prefer to have made. So they gave me a duck, a dinosaur, a teddy bear, a doll, a dog, and a rabbit, and a cat. So I was just going to go through and cut out the cat here so you can see that you just need to kind of stick with the lines. And now you have your cat piece, pattern piece, so you can make a cat if you would like. Okay, we're going to start with our duck piece, and so what I have here is just a piece of quilting fabric. It's 100% cotton, and it's been ironed so there are no creases in it, so it's all ready to go. So now we need two pieces of fabric to make the duck, so we're going to fold this in half, and so we should be able to get two ducks out of this piece of fabric. So I might even be able to get three and try and get him lined up here. So on camera, just a little bit. There we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pin him down. So now we're all totally pinned, and then we're going to cut the two pieces out. You won't have any damage to the fabric. So we're just going to go right around the pattern here and cut. Right, so there we have our cut out fabric. So we'll remove the pins. Okay, one last one. Alright, so there we have our two pieces for the duck. So we're going to leave them with the right sides together, and then we'll pin the fabric for sewing. Now we're going to leave a gap right here, and so that way we'll be able to flip the duck back inside out and be able to stuff it. So here we have the duck all ready to sew. All the pins are in it and it's ready to go. So now we're going to thread our machine and get everything ready to go on the sewing machine. Okay, we're going to start here at the end of the tail. Now the seam allowance is 1/4 inch, and so for me that means the distance between one side of my presser foot. So I'm just going to keep this side of the presser foot lined up with the edge of the fabric as I sew. Alright, here we go. Take out that first pin. You don't want any of your pins to get hit by the needle. That'll damage it and possibly chip the end. Alright, we're getting towards the end here. Now I'm going to leave a bit of a gap so that we can easily flip the fabric inside out, and then we'll be able to stuff the duck with stuffing and then stitch them closed. Okay, so we have our stitched duck. So what we're going to do is clip any threads that are hanging. And we're also going to ensure that there are no more pins anywhere in the duck, because you don't want a little kid playing with it and then getting stuck by one of the pins. So now that we're all nice and clean, we're going to go through and clip the edges in a few places. As you can see on the pattern piece, there is little spots that are marked clip, and that'll show you where you want to just ever so slightly cut the fabric towards the seam, and that'll make it a little bit easier to turn the duck inside out. So now we are ready to turn him inside out. Okay, our little duck here is all ready to be stuffed. Okay, the polyfill that I have here is this ultra soft 100% polyester fiber. It's non-allergic and it's washable, so you just want to get something that's going to be nice and soft for the kids to touch. Okay, so when you stuff it, you want it to be firm, but you also want it to be kind of squishy. So like in the sample one here, it's strong and it's full, but you can still squish it and play with it. So you want to start with the beak. Okay, so we are totally stuffed now. Our little ducky here is nice and full. So what we have left is to close up the bottom here and then sew him an eye. So what we're going to do first is pin the gap here closed. Now I have a needle already threaded here with just some yellow thread. So we're going to start it on the inside so that the knot gets tucked away. And then we're just going to do simple hand stitching here on the edge to close it. So right at the end, so I'm going to get it all nice and snug, and then we're just going to tie off the edge. And we'll just make a couple of knots at the end. Smooth out the filling Alright, so now what we have left is just to make his eye, so I'm going to get a different color thread. So I have some black thread. Now you don't need very much. Just going to get it threaded here. You're going to double it up, then you're going to make a knot on the end. I'm going to double that knot so that it's kind of thick, maybe even triple it here. Okay. Then I'm going to cut off the little threads on the very end. Now you're going to find your spot where you want your eye. We're going to put it right about here, I think. And you're going to put the needle all the way through. And then you're going to tie it kind of tight on the back side here so that it makes a sort of divot. And our ducky is done. Alright, so our next project is the dinosaur. So I found some great purple fabric here that has kind of some spots on it that remind me of scales. So I thought I would use that here for our dinosaur. So we'll just pin him to the fabric. Trim that. And there you have it. We have a little dinosaur. Alright, so we did two projects today. We did our little duck and we did our little dinosaur huggable. So now I'm going to get to work making several more of each of these so we can have a good pile to donate to Wake Med Hospital for them to give to their child patients. And then we're going to do another project a little later on.